If there's one thing that video game developers knew right from the beginning, it's that old mansions are inherently scary. They have big empty rooms, bad lighting, and centuries of secrets hiding in plain sight. And you don't even need zombies and monsters to make them spooky, because you can fill up a mansion with butterflies and have the same effect. What, you don't believe me? Then maybe we should take a trip to the Mansion of Hidden Souls. This is a series that first started on the Sega CD before moving to the Saturn, and I think it's about high time we spend a few minutes talking about their crazy endings. Turn back now if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to spoil the stories and endings for both versions of the Mansion of Hidden Souls. This is Game Over, the early years. Okay, first things first, Mansion of Hidden Souls on the Sega CD is not the same game as the Mansion of Hidden Souls on the Saturn. These are two completely different adventures that share the same setting and similar story themes. It's also worth pointing out that one of these endings is better than the other, and not just a little better, but easily one of the craziest endings we've ever covered in this entire series. But before we get to that, we first need to talk about Samantha and Jonathan, a couple of kids who find a strange butterfly while playing in the field. They talk about how they were told to never go to the big old elm tree, and more importantly, to never stare at a butterfly during a full moon or you'll turn into one, of course. It's basically the werewolf lore, only a lot less bitey. Samantha doesn't heed her brother's concerns and seems kinda into the idea of turning into a butterfly. They decide to chase after it and see where it flies to. But that turns out to be a big mistake, because the butterfly leads them straight to the Mansion of Hidden Souls. Okay, so long story short, Jonathan enters the mansion in order to save his sister from being turned into a butterfly. If that happens, she'll be trapped in this spooky old house forever, which would suck because they don't have any TV or internet or anything to do. We cover a treasure trove of information about the house while searching for Samantha, as well as running into a few talking butterflies that attempt to aid, and hinder, Jonathan's investigation. We eventually figure out what's going on, but not before being introduced to a floating man that glows as bright as the sun. He talks about how the butterflies are the soul, and that everybody wants to transform into one, all while Jonathan jumps from pillar to pillar in an effort to escape to save his sister. The race is on, but don't worry, it's pretty leisurely. We basically just wander through the same house we've been investigating this whole time. The other butterflies seem dubious that it's even possible to escape the mansion. We haven't come this far to just quit. Jonathan's plan seems simple. He's gonna work on this complicated door puzzle until he locates the room with the magic mirror. Then he's gonna jump through it, and, well, here's what happens next.
Wait, young lad. Where are you going? Don't go.
Okay, so that's a happy ending. We escape the mansion, and Samantha turns back into a real girl. Pretty standard, right? Well, let me tell you, that's just an appetizer for what's to come. Let's just dive into the Saturn sequel. Released only a year after the original, The Mansion of Hidden Souls is a 32-bit sequel that takes the series from a completely different perspective. Instead of being an outsider trapped against your will, you're one of the souls that calls the spooky old house your home. We learn at the beginning that the Elder Butterfly suspects that there's something strange happening to the mansion and wants June and Mike to investigate. He is, of course, right to be concerned because the blood-red moon has weakened the mansion's power and somebody's going around ransacking people's rooms and stealing their property. As you've probably figured out by now, this is more of a mystery than a horror game. A lot of this game involves interviewing the mansion's hidden souls to see who the real culprit is. This allows the game to give us more detail about the house, its inhabitants, and the secrets from the first game. We learn that Raymond is kinda depressed, Kathy misses her parents, and Sean is afraid of, well, everything. There's also an obvious suspect, Danny, who's a bit standoffish and has a crime-ridden past. But if you know anything about crime dramas, then you already know that the obvious suspect is often innocent. The real culprit turns out to be Raymond, who had been investigating ways to escape the mansion. The problem is that if Raymond succeeds with his plan, then it means that the mansion will disappear and the remaining hidden souls will die. This is concerning. So the plan is to find Raymond and make sure that he doesn't use the crystal to escape. Now, before we get to that crazy ending, I first want to double back and talk about the Elder. We learn late in the adventure that the wise old man is actually Jonathan from the first game. That's right, it's the same kid that saved his sister and escaped the mansion. So, why did he come back? Well, apparently he was disillusioned with humans after Samantha died in the war. What makes this tale even more tragic is that the elder Jonathan ended up dying halfway through this adventure. He wasn't even around long enough to see how the investigation concluded. Or was he? Mike and June are told to follow the elder's voice. And this is what happens next.
June, Mike, welcome. My final mission is to lead you to the sanctuary. But it is beyond my control and has been closed off by the moon's magic powers. The room that lost its master is now the pathway leading to the sanctuary. All we need is the crystal, which can repel the moon's magic powers.
But, Elder, we don't have the crystal.
You two already possess it. A good heart, a strong mind, and a pure soul. These all have the same power as the crystal.
What a beautiful place. Wherever are we?
How mysterious. We are not influenced by the moon's magic powers, yet this scene which spreads itself before us is nothing but a world of fantasy. Human beings have the ability to be creative. This must be one of those miracles which they have created.
It's a miracle.
I'm delighted that at last I'm able to walk with you in this way. Please continue to carry out my will and protect the mansion.
Mike, come here. Come over here, quickly.
This really is goodbye.
So this is the sanctuary.
Hunter, come out from your hiding place.
That's Raymond's voice. That's Raymond, isn't it? But what?
Ha ha ha! If you don't come out, I shall make the entire sanctuary disappear.
I'm not going to let it happen. June, the gemstone of rebirth. Goodbye, Raymond. Was this really the way it was supposed to be?
That resident intended to make the mansion disappear. I don't know how he lost his mind, but thanks to all of you, we have avoided disaster. I'm so grateful to you.
It's Hunter.
This mansion is inhabited by people who wanted to become butterflies. You may deny it, but don't forget that there are those who regard this place as a refuge. No one who has become a butterfly should ever laugh at those who remain living. Raymond must have been out of his mind to have acted as he did.
Look out! Wow.
Who are you, then?
I am KANDOLLA. I am the other part who's been separated from you. Whilst you were stupidly posing as master of the mansion, I had to put up with being treated as a freak with half a body. Just look at this ugly shape, it will never reproduce. I do not have your creative powers. That's why I came here, to get rid of you. You're my other self, who left me with everything you didn't want and ran away.
So, it was all your doing.
The residents I took advantage of seem to have lost their trust in me. In the depths of their consciousness, they didn't deny me totally. They were struggling to get out of the cage known as the mansion. They could see your true nature. I can just imagine why you had to separate yourself from me. You couldn't accept a conscious human being as a victim, but you're preying upon them. The thing is, human beings and us, we're incompatible. We're predators.
But it's not the act of an animal who hunts his prey, but it's only when drifters come here seeking salvation and when they choose to die rather than seek eternal life. Only then does my body fuse with theirs.
Those butterflies are also your prey, aren't they? You've devoured like this, don't you? Oh, you! Why have you got the crystal? You think you can beat me? I've been waiting for this day. I've been cursing my lot. If I can get rid of you, I shall be free from the spell. Nothing could be better than this. I shall devour you.
Throw this away with everybody.
We must help June.
Look at me. I'm fine now. Where's Mike?
What about Mike? Even though you knew what was going to happen, you still saved me?
I didn't mean just to save you. I did it for myself. We would have died if we hadn't saved you.
You're really not honest, are you? You were the one who wanted to save the mansion, weren't you?
Right. You're not going to kill us. I'll be the one who decides. If you're going to get me, it'll be my own decision.
I love it here. Hunter is everybody's daddy. This is my home.
You should become the elder of the mansion. You have to take on Elder's will.
That's right, June. Thank you.
June's going to be the elder? Strange. Will you be an old man?
I'm sorry, everybody. It's come to this. It's all my fault, even Elder and Mike.
Raymond!
What are you talking about? It's not your fault. Your obsession made you do it. You mustn't be too hard on yourself.
No, it was all my fault. I cannot remain in this mansion any longer.
What do you mean?
I don't seem to feel quite the same way as everyone else. In fact, for some time I've actually been thinking about leaving the mansion. This very idea may have brought about these events.
Raymond!
Surely this is a place of peace. But somehow I don't feel at ease here. Time time seems to be frozen.
I really find myself totally unable to fit in here in this world. I should never have come. No, I should never have come. Hunter, I will dedicate my life to you. I'm sorry, June. This is the life you saved, but this is goodbye.
Raymond?
Don't be so silly.
Are you serious?
That is what I intend to do.
Are you really sure? You wanted something different, didn't you?
Raymond wants to leave. It doesn't mean he wants to die.
That's enough. I wasn't really thinking. I made the wrong decision. If I'm going to stay here any longer, I'd rather die.
Leave the mansion if you want to.
What?
But in the form of a butterfly. Your lifespan will be the same as that of a butterfly from the moment you leave the mansion. You may finish your short life without going anywhere. Do you still want to leave?
If I can only get out, I don't mind having a shorter life. Now I can escape.
Goodbye, Raymond. Well, let's go back to the mansion.
Let's get you home.
Now that's how you make an ending. So just in case you're wondering, butterflies live about 12 months on average. I don't know if that means that a middle-aged Raymond would have 6 months left, but whatever the case, it's a bittersweet ending. It's also kind of refreshing to see how nice and understanding everybody is, especially considering that they all could have died back there. Maybe butterflies really are better than humans. No matter what, this ending is crazy in all the right ways. Rest in peace, Jonathan. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Game Over, The Early Years. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new episodes every Monday. Now here's the question I have for you. What video game ending left you scratching your head? This is a pretty crazy one, but there have been so many head scratchers over the years. Let me hear your picks in the comments below. In other news, expect new reviews of Octoon Cthulhu Tactics and Finding Light in the coming days. I'm also working on a couple new fall series, including a question and answer show. In the meantime, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.